Hi everyone, I'm Kent Louie, science teacher and talking head, talking about science education and broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. This is episode 95. Now, reporting on mastery of content and of skill is a challenge when switching to standards-based grading. That's SBG for short. One way I've seen teachers try to overcome this challenge is by having two sets of marks. One set that represents the traditional grading method where tests and assignments are averaged to produce an overall percentage, and one set of marks for the skills, perhaps like a test or final exam at the end of the term or end of the year that assesses the skills that students need to develop during the course. Now today, let's talk about how this method of having two sets of marks isn't standards-based grading. But before I continue, handouts for this episode are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP95, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now imagine, all term, every term, students got tests that look like this. True or false, multiple choice, you got some fill in the blank over here, and then you got some short answer. Now I understand why teachers give a test like this. Teachers want to assess content knowledge. But at the end of term or at the end of the year, the teacher gives students a test that looks like this. You got some data to analyze. You got some models to look at. You got to craft an argument. Now, how would students do on this test? Probably not very good, because science skill development wasn't the focus on all the assessments prior to this, which can be seen by the tests that this teacher was giving up until then. True or false, multiple choice, short answer. No skill development in these tests. Now, this teacher may argue that students should have learned all those skills through their assignments, like lab reports and research projects. But lab reports and research projects aren't always done by the student. Some of you may be surprised to find out that students actually copy their work from other students from time to time, from the internet or even from AI. Now, I know being teachers, we all know that by now, right? So the point is, having a single test at the end of term or at the end of year to assess skills in order to do standards-based grading isn't actually standards-based grading at all. In standards-based grading, students are, number one, assessed on their proficiency of standards, like skills they should have acquired, like analyzing graphs, developing arguments. In standards-based grading, students are also given multiple opportunities to demonstrate proficiency at a standard. Now, this is not me talking. This is also quoted in this article published in 2022 by Link and Gusky. I will provide a link to this article in the handouts. Okay? So, if at the end of the year we have a final exam on skills, well, this actually places the focus of assessments still on content knowledge, because up until the final exam, everything looks like this. The focus is still content knowledge. Also, a final exam at the end of the year on skills doesn't actually give students multiple opportunities to demonstrate their proficiency at a standard or demonstrate growth at that standard. All right, so here's what can be done. Instead of a final exam at the end of the year, what we should do is develop tests throughout the year that assess skills while leveraging the content. For example, what I do in term one is I spend a lot of time modeling skills like CER, claim evidence reasoning, for argument writing across different science content areas. Okay, so in my first term, we go over CER. We learn how to write arguments. We practice writing arguments using lab data, graphs, and other things I get online. Then, in term one, I will provide a test that is actually like this. This is actually a test from term one I give my science aides on measurement. Measurements like degrees Celsius, meters, milliliters, okay? That's what the chapter was on. Now, this test question has students analyze this temperature graph, right? And also write an argument. At the end of this test, I'll go over what I was looking for in my argument, okay, and what students could have done to improve. Then in terms 2 and 3, I'll have more questions on my tests that gets students to craft arguments using content knowledge. This way, students are constantly learning and practicing how to craft arguments using CER while leveraging content knowledge. By the end of the year, they should have had multiple opportunities to grow and multiple ways to demonstrate that proficiency. So they should be pretty comfortable in doing it. All right? So going forward, one thing you can do is when you're switching to SBG is to include standards that you'll be assessing regularly on your tests. Now this can be a skill like writing an argument or analyzing models. If you do this over the course of 5 or 6 tests throughout the year, by the end of it all, again, students should have a pretty good idea how to do that skill, and they should have grown by the end of the year in doing that skill. That's it for this episode. Please smash the like or subscribe button or leave a comment below. And Handouts once again are at realsciencechallenge.com/EP95. Thanks for watching. And let's talk science education again soon.